Moving on, there are two areas of dispute within Standard English, the verb choice and the pure tradition. Reading this part actually reminds me of conservative and liberal dispute. You will, as we go on with our discussion, you will realize which one I associate with the liberal and the conservative. So first, we have the verb choice. Standard English allows flexibility in some verb tenses. Examples include present perfect versus past tense. I have a coat versus I had a coat. Or present continuous versus present tense. This is the first time I am wearing it versus this is the first time I wear it. It actually depends. These choices can have subtle meaning differences, but teachers often oversimplify the rules, leading to confusion for learners who encounter real-world examples that differ from their instructions. These examples really depends because some examples here are more acceptable in UK, some examples are more acceptable in US, but nonetheless, we use it for real-world communication. Now, right here, we can see the different choices we make in our everyday conversation or in real world. There's the common, the runner-up, and the rare choices. Under common, there's this. Did they give you a map? And then there's the runner-up. Have they given you a map? And there's this is the first time I am wearing it. This is the first time I have worn it. It sounds more formal to me, the runner-up actually. It sounds more formal than common. And then common is pretty casual. And then the rare choices. This is the first time I wear it. This is the first time I wore it. And then, let's examples. Can I watch television? Could I watch television? And then we have this rare choice. Might I watch television? If we're still confused of how these choices are made, I have an example or a meme below which can maybe help us understand in our Gen Z language. Yep, there's Pooh Bear telling you how it's done. So for the common, there's can I watch television? And then, might I watch television? And of course for the rarest, may I behold the television? And then there's purist tradition. Purist tradition, characterized by invented rules and strict grammar norms, has been criticized for its rigidity. This tradition, dating back to the 18th century, aims to impose stricter grammar rules on Standard English than actually exist. Do you still think this purist tradition still exists today? Like in our schools, especially in primary schools? Because I think this pretty much existed back then. Or like, in a way, yeah, I think it pretty much existed back in primary school. Or maybe it's just in our school. I don't know about yours, but I'm just saying, I'm just sharing how it was back then with me. Examples include disapproval of sentences starting with but or split infinitives to boldly go. However, these constructions are perfectly acceptable Standard English and shouldn't be discouraged. So, you can actually use it still. That's how important it is to incorporate real-world scenarios and our real-world language into our learning. But how are these concepts applied in the classroom? For that, again, Ricky will be the one to discuss it with you.
In the classroom, in formal education, Standard English is well taught and examined, reflecting the norm across many languages where standard dialects emerge for written communication. Standard English is a dialect used in formal education and writing due to its wide reach and neutrality across regions. It is crucial because learners of English as a second language, or ESL, are also taught Standard English for practicality. Social linguists advocate for respecting non-standard dialects while acknowledging Standard English's importance. Children often acquire both standard and non-standard dialects naturally through exposure and education. So here are some learning strategies that teachers use in classrooms. Focus on core rules. It focuses on the most important grammar rules that everyone agrees on, especially for writing. So these are the essential rules that everyone needs to know to write clear and correct standard English. Exposure to variations. Learners should be exposed to the natural variations of spoken English to understand appropriate usage in different contexts. So by being exposed to these variations, learners can understand which way of speaking is appropriate for different situations. Example, I speak differently to my friends than I would to my teacher. Error correction. Teachers should correct errors but avoid discouraging learners by focusing solely on perfect English. While correcting their mistakes, teachers should create a supportive environment because the goal here is to help students progress and become more confident in using English. And the last learning strategy that teachers use is providing real world examples. Analyzing real world texts helps students understand grammatical choices and variations within standard English. So, studying real life writing like emails or articles, it helps students see grammar in action. They can see the rules used in real situations, not just in exercises. They will also discover different ways to say things correctly and learn how fluent speakers use standard English naturally. So, the goal here is to equip learners with the confidence and skills to use English effectively in various contexts, appreciating the role of both standard English and natural variations.
And finally, we're done discussing how teaching grammar emerged and how it is used in classrooms. Let us stress that the key lies in developing students' analytical skills. By equipping them with basic grammatical analysis tools, teachers empower students to explore real-world text and identify both standards and non-standard usage. Recognizing that writers and speakers often use non-standard English playfully adds another layer to language appreciation. So we have our own language actually, especially Gen Z. We have this thing called internet language, wherein a lot of variations of old languages emerge, such as the word Riz. It emerged from TikTok. It is popularized by TikTok. It came from the word charisma. Riz is used in a way like, are you rizzing me up? Are you flirting with me? That's what it means. If you haven't encountered that word yet, good for you. It means you're not chronically online. Now, ultimately, this combination of core grammar knowledge, awareness of variation, and analytical skills empowers students to become versatile communicators who can adapt their language to any situation. Of course, we have a volatile world right now. We should have we should use our language in a way that it helps us to become versatile as well. That's all for our report. This is me, Eda Zaliliancita.
And this is Ricky Duterte. Thank you
Thank
so
you so
much
much
for
for listening.
listening and watching.